Dear students, in this very short video, we shall be discussing what are the sampling methods in quantitative research at a very introductory level. So, the video is meant to provide brief introduction to the sampling methods, titling them and telling them why they are necessary. So, let's proceed and see what else we can have in this video. First of all, we need to know what is going to be sampling. For this purpose, the students need to understand that sampling is a kind of method through which we select certain number of people or groups in order to research upon. When the data is very large, definitely we need to go for this. But if the data is small, at that time, sampling is not that much required. But in case of large data, sampling is required. There are certain methods to do so. And for this purpose, let us see what these methods are. So there are two major methods of sampling. Number one is probability sampling. Number two is non-probability sampling. Probability sampling is done when the data is very large and random techniques are used for this purpose in such a way that every member of the group is able to get some type of representation or opportunity. In the probability sampling, we have some types. Number one type is cluster sampling. It means that we try to make different clusters of the population for which the sampling is going to be. By clusters, I mean the group of the target population. The groups may be based on any characteristics of the population. And first of all, the clusters are made, then the subclusters are made. And out of these subclusters, we are able to have some selection on the basis of these clusters. When the selection is made, that sampling is called as the cluster sampling. In the same way, we also have the random sampling. This is used at that time when the data is very large. Random sampling technique is utilized. For example, if you look at the picture, you can see that out of all these four groups, representation has been taken. Although some targets are of blue color, some are of brown color, but then in such a way, the selection has been made randomly that every target is being represented through this sampling. And then comes systematic sampling. This also resembles to the random sampling, but then only the start is made randomly. For example, any member of the group can be selected. But later on, if the member of the group is second, or it is third, or it is fourth, this type of fixture is maintained through selection till the required number of people are selected. For example, if you look at the picture, you will be able to see that from the first group we have taken the blue color, and then it is the after two we have uh, the different color, and ultimately it comes again a different color. Then the last one is a green color. So in that way, systematic sampling is carried on, and here comes stratified sampling. The researcher goes forward and makes the strata or the stratum of the target population. These stratums can be made because of the any techniques can be used for this. Can be based on geography, can be based on race, color, or can be based on anything. The selection will be made of these strata. This stratum, as the picture goes to show, that there are four strata made out of the target population. First one is in blue color, green color, and then it is the pink or the red color. And out of all these stratum, one has been selected. This is called as the stratified red sampling method. And in the same way, we can have some of the non-probability sampling methods as well. These non-probability sampling depend less on the population, target population, and depend more on researchers' knowledge. And therefore, in that way, the only thing is required that we may be able to give sometime equal representation, but in this non-probability sampling, the equal representation is a little bit disturbed. Among the non-probability sampling, the first method or the type is consecutive. By consecutive, I mean that if we have taken the first member of the target population, then the second, then the third, and the fourth, that will be consecutively selected. So in that way, if it is done till the time the required number of target samples are okay, we continue to do so. And in the same way, the next one is going to be convenient sampling. It depends more on the researcher. The researcher can see what is near to him, what is close to him, and accordingly he can make a selection of the sample and depend on that. That is the kind of technique which is called as the convenient sampling. And similarly, there are judgmental sampling. This depends also on the skill and experience of the researcher. If the researcher uses his skill and experience in making a selection, it all depends on him. And as a result, the kind of judgment which is made by him in order to select a sample of the target population will be called as the judgmental sampling. And similarly, we have the next one as the quota sampling. This quota sampling is also made because of the traits and the personalities of the target population. Because of certain traits and because of certain persons, selection is made. And as a result, this selection would be called as the quota sampling. For example, on a particular scale, if we think that one part of the population is aggressive, we may be taking certain members from the aggressive group and certain members from the non-aggressive group. And in that way, some other methods may also be utilized, that is called as the quota sampling. Snowball effect is also very useful in case of quantitative researches. This is the method which begins with one selected target or the object or the person from the population. And the similar kind of technique is used on the next two. And again, it is applied to the next three. And again, it applies to the groups of the people. It is just like the snowball. When it travels from the top to bottom, it continues to accumulate the snow with it and ultimately becomes a huge ball. Same is the case with this type of sampling, that it is done at that time when populations are unreachable, when they are not available at one place. So the first person is chosen, characteristics are applied to the next two, and again to the next three, and again to the group of the people. That type of sampling is termed as the snowball sampling. So in that way, we have a total introduction to these methods that are very significant with respect to quantitative research. And quantitative research, everybody knows that we cannot approach all the data, which is very huge most of the time in comparison to qualitative research. That is why sampling is done. So some of the methods are here in this video, or at the very introductory level. The students can explore further in order to know about the details of these methods. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in some next video.